Today we're going to show you how to replace this old shade on this Marvin sliding door with a new updated one. There's a lot of parts involved, so let's get started. So to get started, we're going to go ahead and remove all these old shades. First, we'll go ahead and remove this cover. You can just pull right off, set that to the side. So we'll go ahead and remove the shade by using that little Allen wrench. Now remove the screw at the top. There was one of these down here, but it was already broken. So if you have one there, go ahead and remove the screw and remove that. Okay, next we'll go ahead and remove this cover here. We open the door slightly, and that exposes the screw here that holds that cable in. And then we'll do the same thing for the top. Come over here and remove this cover. Just pull straight off, and then we can go ahead and use our little Allen head and we'll rotate that down. Go ahead and remove that, and we'll set that to the side. We'll go ahead and remove the handle set. Now we got to remove this active panel by removing this top track. Okay, this top panel guy should come out. If it doesn't, you may have to adjust the wheels down. Go ahead and adjust the wheels down. Just make sure we have plenty of room. And then we'll go ahead and remove the active panel. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we'll remove this piece. Should be in there with some connecting barb. Every once in a while, someone will put a screw or a nail in an angle to prevent them from falling off. So it should come straight out. Just like that. And as we saw, some nails here, we'll go ahead and pull those out. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and remove this trim piece here. We do that by taking a sharpened putty knife. And it may be some silicone at the bottom, so just constant steady pressure will allow that silicone that's behind there to break. We're going to go ahead and take this piece that looks like this, and we're going to put that in its place. Okay, so we're going to take the existing connecting barb and we're going to put it in one of these curves here, and see how it's got this little ledge here? That little ledge goes against the door, and it's going to go in there like that. So by starting at the top first. There we go, just like that. So next we need these 3 filler pieces that look like this. So first we'll go ahead and put this on the top first. It's going to fit just like that. And we're going all the way to this edge. We're not going out to this edge. Stapled with 1/4-inch crown 1-inch staples. Okay, we'll go ahead and put this one on. See how this is the back part here. It's got this little step to it. Next is this one here. Same thing. That goes towards the jamb there. We're going to go ahead and remove this other piece here that doesn't need to be there. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and blow out any dirt. Since we got that out, we're going to go ahead and take this opportunity to put some pledge on a paper towel. And we're going to go ahead and wipe the track down. Keep in mind, if you have any bare wood, not to get any on the bare wood, or it will not take paint or stain. Okay, next we need the panel. Okay, we'll go ahead and set the panel in by setting the bottom first. This is the new panel, which is a lot different from the old panel. The old panel had a really thick piece of wood here. Okay, we're going to adjust this up a couple clicks just to make sure we're on the track. Close it so it doesn't fall on us. Okay, next we need these 2 pieces. This is the new top panel guide. Okay, we're going to snap these 2 pieces together. This does take some strength here. Okay, and it should look just like that. So we'll go ahead and put that to keep the panel from falling on top of us. And be sure not to over tighten those screws, because if you over tighten the screws, this piece can go like this and rub against your door here. Go ahead and put our bumper block back in. Okay, with this new panel guide in there, you may have to drill. This is the next piece we need here. This is what the door sits, what the shade sits in. Okay, now we're going to take this piece here, which goes on the sill. We got the higher ledge on the interior, and we got to put some screws here on top of this oak liner here. So with this sitting on here, we want to make sure that we put a screw right through the center of this oak liner here. So we'll mark the 2 edges and then the center. So I'm going to use these little screws here, do about 1 inch from the edge, countersink, screw in. Okay, we'll do the center and the other edge. Now it's time to assemble the shade. As you can see here, we unfold everything. They're lettered where everything goes. Be very careful not to use a utility knife on these. Okay, we got a letter B, lines up with B. Letter A lines up with A. We'll go ahead and put some screws to this. Apparently we were short the original screws that go in it, so I'm going to go find some. Take our number 7 by 1¼ inch screw. We have the letter A on the outside, letter A there. We got a screw boss right there, and we make sure that screw goes into that screw boss.
So when you're doing this side, you have to pull it because of the string and make sure that this, just like that. Same with this side.
And do not remove these until this whole assembly is put together. So we'll go ahead and carry this to the door. This here is the bottom. And you know it's the bottom because when we set the shade in, we want to be able to have access to these springs. If we lifted it up and put it upside down, we would not have access to that. So this is the bottom, and we'll show you how to set it up. And as you see here, the top has holes drilled in the head. And we set it in the bottom, like that. And we'll go ahead and put it at the top. And again, this side here, we want to be able to see these springs. So this is how that sits in there. So next we need this trim piece here. So we'll go ahead and put this little strips of connecting barb here, evenly spaced or thereabouts. This connecting barb goes into that curve. That screw hole lines up with that screw hole like that. We'll go ahead and put that on. Okay, now we're going to put these screws in here. We need to be sure not to over tighten them because if we over tighten them, it will cause this to bow up. We just want those screws to keep this so it doesn't fall to the inside. Okay, we're going to go ahead and pre-drill. See, we took great care to make sure that we didn't over tighten this. Now we'll go ahead and carefully remove this plastic. We'll check the measurement of the spring and check the operation.
Very careful.
Next, we like to take some pledge on a paper towel, and we like to get inside that track, or at least I'd like to do this. And I like to fold it and put it inside here as well. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take this piece and install this one. So we're going to go ahead and extend the screen so we can install the pull bar past the door. And then we're going to go ahead and make sure that these holes line up with those holes. Put these screws in. I recommend using a hand screwdriver. Do not use a drill because I have broken these off before. Okay, next we're going to check the spring. We need to check the distance and how much these are. There's a certain amount of measurement they should be. And we'll go ahead and retract the screen all the way to check the measurement. So here's the top one. This spring measurement should be 3 inches to 3.5 inches. This middle spring should be 2.5 to 3 inches. And this one on the bottom should be 3 to 3.5. So that's 3 1/4. That looks good.
About, yeah, almost 3.
3, that looks
Just
good.
under 3.5.
3.5, so that's good.
Maybe
So,
a little over.
so if you ever have to adjust the tension on these, put a little piece of tape here. We'll go ahead and remove that. Untie this. And see it goes underneath, comes through and back. So if you ever need to remove any tension, I'm going to go ahead and unhook this just to make this a little easier for me to demonstrate here. So we take the tension off this one and we can pull this through this way. And then you can, once you do that, you can pull more like that, or you can pull it out like that and pull this one tighter like that. And then when you put tension on it, that loop locks this in place. And then that's how you adjust the length of the cord. And then we can remeasure this. So as you can see, this is almost 4 inches. That's too much. So we'll go ahead and measure again. We're within the 3 to 3.5 inches. So I'll go ahead and put this knot back under there, like that a couple times just to make sure. Okay, we'll go ahead and reuse this tape and wrap it back around. And any extra cord, you can just put up in the spring. Easy as that. We'll go ahead and check the operation of it. Works really good. So we'll go ahead and put the other trim covers back on. So we went ahead and put the connecting barb onto the side piece, and we're going to go ahead and make sure it fits in this curve here. This is the head piece. We went ahead and put some connecting barb on it, evenly spaced. We'll go ahead and put that on the top. Just like that. Now to adjust the door and install the new handle. The new handle is different from the old one. Now we're going to go ahead and adjust the rollers to make sure the door lines up. So see how we're looking between the two doors? See how it's tight right there? And as we follow it up, the gap gets bigger. So we need to adjust this side up or this side down. So my partner's going to adjust the wheels so it's even. Now that the wheels are adjusted, this gap now looks consistent. So when we close the door, this gap should be the same. If it is not, then it tells you how far out of square your door is. So now we got to replace this handle with this newer low profile one, because as you can see, the shade hits that handle. So now we need to put this one on. So it's real simple to do. Just go ahead and flip that over by removing these 2 screws back here. And now we'll reinstall it on the door. Take off this old extension on the thumb latch, and we're also going to take off these studs, these extension studs on this handle, because we no longer need them because we have a standard door panel now. Okay, reinstall the handle and make sure you got the bottom there with the little relief for any water that can get in there. Well, there you go. That's how I install a retrofit shade on an older Marvin sliding door. And if you have a new Marvin sliding door with a new shade, it's a very similar setup. So if you found this video informative, please consider hitting subscribe below. That helps me out. Thank you for watching and have a great day.